Hey my loves, welcome back to my channel. I am Farlie Solomons and today's look is going to be this super glamorous look using the Dior Mitzah palette, which is quite popular these days, I would say, and I was quite inquisitive to use the palette. The foundation that I've used today is Dior Prestige in the shade 3M, and like I said, I'm using the Dior palette. It's a super cool palette. It just has few shades, like 5. Sorry about the muck there, but yes, it's a beautiful 5-shader palette. Let me talk a little bit about the foundation. The foundation is an all-day stay foundation and the finesse is super cool, baby. I love the finesse. And for the brows, I have used Maybelline Tattoo Brow Ink Pen. The foundation, today's foundation that I've used, that is Dior Prestige, it's actually full coverage and it's super gorgeous. For the shade, I have used this shade from the palette and this goes on the entire eyelid. I'm just going to use one shade today because I really don't want to mess up this gorgeous, beautiful shade. I would say it's just too lovely, and I'm saying it because I can see it right in front of me and I know how beautiful the shade looks when the lights hit. I mean, when I'm in front of the camera, it looks quite pale and it looks like it's okay, it's not that big deal. Well, when I was going with the stills, when I was doing the still photographs for this look, I mean, the shade looks just so beautiful. And as you can see, I have first used a flat brush to just place the shade on the entire eyelid, and then I'm simply using a blending brush to blend the shade, baby. Just blend it out. This is one technique that I like to use, is when the blending brush doesn't go in those small areas of the eyes. It's best to use a flat brush or a small brush that goes in all the corners, especially the inner corner, and then just blend it out. The key technique, I would say, for any eye makeup is to blend the shades really well. Whether you're using 1 shade, 2 shades, 3 shades, 4 shades, it doesn't matter. What matters is how you blend the shades really well. That's one key technique that I have always followed, but sometimes people do tend to forget that and just keep adding different shades, but then they say, oh, I mean, it's not the same. It's not the same because you're not blending it. All you have to do is blend it really well. I need to cool off my face a little bit. It's because there are so many lights and the aircon doesn't work with so many lights. I feel I just start sweating. And then I'm going with this dark brown shade from this palette, and this is another good shade. But yes, I have seen this kind of shade in different various palettes also, but yeah, it's pigmented. But what I want to say is it's a very nice combination of shades that they have put in this palette. You have one dark shade, you have shimmery shades, and then you have something that the one which I have applied on my eye, that is just marvelous, I would say. I'm simply going to place this dark brown shade on the lash line and just create a wing. I have used an angled brush just to create the wing. It's a very small angled brush. It's just like a brush that you use to do up the eyebrows. But today I'm going to use this to create the wing. I'm just going to push the shade up from the outer corner and just thicken the line a little bit because I just want to smoke it out, and the line need not be perfect for this look because you're definitely going to smoke it out a little bit. And like I said, I'm just going to thicken the line a little bit. The intensity of the shades completely depends upon you, because if you want it to be light, you can just go once or twice with the shade. But if you want it to be more dark and you want to be more intense, then the counting never stops, baby. Yeah, so I'm simply going to go over the lash line with this shade and just pull it out a little bit. It's a very simple look. It's not at all complicated, but I'm going to go really very slow with today's tutorial, because I know my last tutorial was slow and many of you enjoyed that tutorial because it was especially beginners, because it was slow and easy to understand. So I'm going to go really slow today. I'm going to take my own sweet time. So if you're going to bed and you can't fall asleep, you can watch this video. So like I said, I'm just going to pull the line up and just create a wing. And then going with the shade right in the middle, I'm simply going to go on the lower lash line, because I need to complete the look. And most of the time, whatever I use on the eyelid, I prefer using that also on the lower lash line. But it all depends. But mostly, I would say 80% of the eye look is complete if you use the same eyeshadow what you use on the eyelid. And it's just, you know, it's just a continuation of the dot, I would say. It's just like connecting the dots. But yes, like yeah, okay. So I'm just going to diffuse the shade on the low lash line. It's a pretty gorgeous shade. And I'm going to apply a few more coats of this shade, because the more it looks intense on the eyelid, I don't see that on the lower lash line. So maybe because of the lights, but that's how I see. And then going back with this dark brown shade, I'm simply going to go on the lash line. I've used the same brush that I used to create the wing, and I'm just going to go very light on the lash line. They say less is more, but I mean, that's quite true, because for this look I have used very less products, very less eyeshadows, but it turned out to be just super glamorous. If you see, if you can see, I'm using, no, I'm pulling the line, I'm just pulling it out a little bit on the lower lash line too. But if you find this step to be a little bit difficult, just skip the step. It's not necessary. Just leave it alone. Just avoid this. Avoid doing the pulling out the line a little bit. Just avoid that. It's not essential, but if you can do it, just try doing it, because it's super gorgeous. It looks just so beautiful. It's very subtle, but it elongates your eyes, and it just gives you that perfect looking eyes, I would say. Applying a little bit more of the shade and just pulling it out a little bit. Like I said, I'm simply going to pull it out on the outer corner, just like that. Make sure the line is not too thick. It's nice and thin, but like the way I'm doing it, just make sure it's not too thick. Just going to do the other eye, because I just need to compare it to the one that I just created in front of you, so both look alike. And then I've used a small tiny brush, and I have picked up a little bit of the foundation. You also can pick up concealer and just go under the wing and just sharpen the wing a little bit and just drag it out so that your wing looks nice and neat and it doesn't look cluttered on the outer corner. Compare both the eyes and adding a little bit more of the foundation under the, oops, I'm out of focus, under the lower lash line wing, and just sharpening it up a little bit and adding a little bit of loose powder so that everything looks nice and neat and doesn't look cakey and too much cluttered on the outer corner. Basically, the loose powder will just settle things off and make it look like it never existed. Okay, and just adding a little bit of the shade on the other eye because I felt that it's too light as compared to the one that I freshly did. I'm gonna go really slow today, right? Just letting you know so that you don't add some weird comments. And then for the lashes, I've used Farlie Solomons lashes in the style Go Getter, and you could get this on my website, and that's www.farliesolomons.com, and it's a beautiful set of lashes, and this goes really well on any shape of eyes. But I'm going to use this after I complete my look. But in case you're just following the steps, you could use your lashes right now. You can apply your false eyelashes right now. I'm simply going to use the shimmery shade from this palette, and this goes on the inner corner, and it simply looks sexy, I would say. I really love to highlight the inner corner because it just simply looks sexy. Like they say, less is more. I think this look is just all about it. Less is more. And I've used the same applicator that came with this palette, just on the inner corner, just a little bit, just like that. You could wear this look during the day as well as in the night also, especially when you're allowed now to go out for dinners or get-togethers or something like that. You could just wear this look. Just change the lip shade. Coming back to the lashes, like I said, it's a beautiful set of lashes, and you could just get this from my website, and this is how they look like. But again, I'm going to use this towards the end of the tutorial once I'm done with the eyes and also once I'm done with the face. For the concealer, I have used Forever Skin Correct, Dior Forever Skin Correct in the shade 2N, and I've always used, for the past few videos I've been using this concealer. It's full coverage, it's super thick, and it's just the best. I've used a little bit of this concealer under the eyes, and all I'm doing is just diffusing under the eyes and just letting that skin glow under my eyes. I'm not a very big fan of concealers applying concealers under the eyes because it looks patchy when you take photographs. And for me, I think this concealer, I have taken n number of photographs in anyways, I would say any concealer that I've been using these days, they are just awesome. They don't look patchy and they don't look flowery when I don't look like a ghost when when anyone takes pictures. And I'm simply using a brush to diffuse the edges that I see of this concealer. And then for the loose powder, I have used Kate Tokyo face powder, the base 0, and this goes on the entire face because I want my face to look like a goddess. This loose powder has a little bit of a tint in it, and it's a little bit shimmery, and but it's not a lot when you apply. It simply settles on the skin really, really well. So for today, I just wanted to use this on the entire face because it looks just awesome. If you see a person face to face, it's like, like I would say if you see me, my skin would look dewy. And for the bronzer, I have used Fenty Beauty. It's called Sunstalker Vision Girl, and this is another good bronzer, I would say. This looks a little bit dark in the pan, but it's not at all that dark. Especially if you have the same skin tone like mine, this shade really goes well, and it's quite blendable. It's not like some of the bronzers, they look like when you look at the person, it's like, oh, she has that product on her face. She has definitely applied some bronzer, but it's a good thing because bronzers are always meant to be seen. But also, what I personally think is that you need to blend the bronzer really well because having those lines on the face looks quite artificial, I would say. Your face should look like it's a part of your face, right? When you apply bronzer, it should look like it's your skin. So this product is quite blendable. That was a very neat description that I could give about this product. And I have applied this on my jawline, a little bit on the highest, a little bit on the hollows of my cheeks, and also on my cheekbone. If you see, I have high cheekbones, so I like to go a little bit there high and just bring it down a little bit instead of going on the hollows of my cheeks. I'm sorry, I didn't go on the hollows of my cheeks, but rather I went on the highest point of my cheeks, my cheekbones. A little bit on my forehead. And also I always like to contour my nose because I have a small nose. No, that's not a reason. The reason is I love to contour my nose. And the other day I did get someone did ask me that why when they contour the nose it looks like it doesn't look good. Number one, the reason might be that the shade doesn't match your skin. Number two, your skin tone. Number two, you're not blending it that much. You need to blend those two lines that you draw on your bridge of the nose so that it looks like a part of your skin and it doesn't look like you have artificially done something. You have just done it for the sake of it. No, you need to blend your the bronzer really well. I've applied a little bit of loose powder on the edges of my nose just so that my nose looks a little bit narrow, and I'm just simply going to immediately take it off because I'm not baking it. I'm just going to apply it for a few seconds. I would just let it be there for a few seconds and just take it off. It's just that I don't like to bake, but just giving that kind of narrow nose. This is the only way that I could do it. It's not that I have a big nose, but yeah, if you want to bake, you can go ahead and keep it on for some more time. But for me, I think that's enough. For the blush, I have used Dior Rouge Blush in the shade 999, and this goes on my cheeks, definitely on my cheeks. I'm simply going to pat this blush on my cheeks. This is another thing that I always like to do, is to pat the blush on the cheeks, because it feathers out and it just spreads and just settles on the cheeks naturally, instead of dragging the blush instead of dragging the brush up and down. So I like to pat with this pat the blush with a brush on my cheeks. And the next shade that I have blended another blush, and that's actually called Rose Montaigne, and it's in the shade 219. It's the same. It's Dior Rouge Blush 219 Rose Montaigne, and I've just gone over my cheeks, and I'm using the brush that I used for the bronzer, and I'm just going to simply go over the blushes and just diffuse all really well and keep it neat. Right now I have used loose powder under the blush and the bronzer that I have used, and I'm simply going to make everything look neat on my face. A little bit to diffuse the edge of those blushes that I have used, and just going over the blush. The loose powder is the same loose powder that I have used previously, Kate Tokyo, and all I'm doing is I'm simply diffusing the edges of the blush, just going over the blush a little bit so that everything looks neat and in place. It's a super easy look, like I said. For the lips, I have used Dior lip liner in the shade 959. It's a very nice red. It's not too red, but it's a very nice red. And I have filled my lips with this lip liner, and then over that I have just used a little bit of YSL Baby Doll Kiss and Blush in the shade 6. The shade number is 6, and for the mascara I have used YSL, and finally I have applied my false eyelashes also, and this is how the entire look turned out to be. I hope you liked it. I know you liked it. I have seen all of your beautiful comments on my Instagram and Facebook. So this is the end of the tutorial. I hope you guys liked this look as much as I loved creating this look for you, especially keeping beginners in mind. I hope you didn't mind me going so slow throughout the video, but I had to. In case you don't know, I am on Instagram, and my Instagram handle is Farlie Solomons, and I am also on Facebook. But let me talk about the body oil that I have used today. That's Tom Ford, and I like to use this a little bit on my neck and on my shoulder. Depends on what I'm wearing, but it smells awesome and it gives me that kind of a glow that I need to my skin. Okay, talking about Facebook, I am on Facebook, and my Facebook name goes as Farlie Solomons Makeup Artist, and I'm also active here on YouTube. You could just drop me a comment, and I shall definitely answer to you. If you have any look in mind, don't forget to drop in a comment too, and let me know if you want to see something specific. I would try to create it for you. So this is how the look looks like. So if you've liked this look, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you have liked my channel, don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you do know that. I am pretty active there. There's a lot of stuff that I keep sharing there too. And I shall see you in my next video. You should take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Mwah. And I need to go because I need to upload this video as soon as possible because I'm late. Bye bye.